just wrecked my bike trying to film an Instagram story because I was holding my handlebars with just my left hand, and that's not my dominant hand. All right, guys, so today I want to tell you a little story about how I came to obtain a book. This book, Outliers, The Story of Success. How's it going?
Hi, how are you?
I graduated in 2016 with a degree in Management Information Systems. It's basically like a mix of computer coding and an understanding of the software development lifecycle process and best practices, all that good stuff. There was one class and professor in particular that was like the hardest class I've ever taken. A 70% in the class was an A, just to put things in perspective as to how difficult he made this course. He really wanted to just push our boundaries and way of thinking, and was more interested in our critical thinking ability versus actually understanding the material, which I really appreciate. I had like crippling anxiety for this class. If you didn't answer often, like he would just call on you, and I would just like paralyze, like analysis paralysis. I would just lose my train of thought, get super anxious. It was not fun, to say the least. So anyway, at the end of every semester, he gives a book to like his best student, most improved student. The first semester that I had him, he gave this book to the person who was like the most outstanding student in the class. It's called Think Like a Freak. And the guy who got this book was in my group, and he really knew his stuff. He deserved the book. But I admired my professor for really pushing us, and I really liked his approach to teaching, which was, you need to learn how to critically think. Like most professors just teach you specific material, but especially in like a space with IT consulting, technology, that sort of thing, you need to be able to think outside the box and do things differently. But he really took it a whole nother step and was almost more interested in teaching us how to think, critically think, come up with the best decision, come up with inventive ideas, and that sort of thing. So I bought this book. He didn't give me this book. I bought this because he gave it to the best kid in the class, and yeah, it was a good book. It teaches you how to kind of treat the world as a sandbox and experiment. That was the first semester I had him. Then the next semester was my final semester of college, and I had him again for my final capstone, projects. Now, earlier on in the semester, he was saying, towards the end of the semester, we were going to go out to the arboretum, which is like a forest area, kind of like what I'm in right now. So he gave us two choices. Us students could either choose to do tree identification, or you could run this loop. And it was this really steep hill. It's back in West Virginia, WVU, so mountains everywhere. Now, whenever he would bring this up, he would always talk about his daughter and how fast she was. He would just really like drill home the fact that, yeah, it's really hard to run. My daughter, she's the best, fastest I've ever seen. She's super fast, da-da-da-da. So I'm sitting there thinking, okay, maybe I can't, get on his good side through the coding in the class, but maybe I can achieve success in another way. So opportunity knocked, and I started training to run this thing. A couple, weeks. I think it was maybe only several weeks out. I started training so that I could be ready and beat his daughter's time, because that was my goal. And I really wanted to, get some brownie points with him, because I did really admire him, and I've just had such bad anxiety in that class because the stuff was so hard and intimidating that I would just freeze up. So, anywho, the day comes and everyone in the class does tree identification. Everyone except me and the kid who got this book the previous semester. So that's just kind of an ironic thing. I don't think he trained like I did. I had to leave him behind. We started out right next to each other, then I was like, I'm sorry, man, I gotta go. I've been training for this. So I'm running so hard, I'm running, got like my motivational music playing in my head. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing it. I'm gonna put my name on the map. I get to the end, and I'll never forget the look on my professor's face. He like looked at his stopwatch and like looked up, and then he looked back and he goes, oh, that was actually pretty fast. Like he was looking at his stopwatch like something was broken, like it didn't capture the time correctly. And so he's looking at it like, oh, that's actually pretty fast. Now, based on his body language and his reaction, I think I probably beat his daughter's time, but he didn't go out and say that. I think he was kind of like disappointed, like, oh, my pride and joy daughter, she's been surpassed. felt really good. I was like, okay, glad I didn't do all this for nothing. Just that reaction enough was like he seemed a little bit impressed. So then it comes to the last day of class for this second class, and he's giving out books, and he gives out, you know, the most improved. He gives out like the most extraordinary or whatever. And then he gives out a third book to little old me. Outliers. Dun, 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 dun. Basically, this whole book is about how circumstances and environments can create outliers for people to become successful, because they don't fall into like the normal status quo. There's something different going on there. See, you can see this outlying apple, a little bit different, might be a little bit juicier than these other green apples, which might be a little more sour. So he gave me this book, and I was just flabbergasted. I was just ecstatic on the inside. I was like, when he said my name, I was just lit up like the 4th of July. There's a firework reference for you guys. So I lit up and I was like, oh my gosh, he gave me a book. I got a book. So he handed out the books, and I went and sat down at my desk, and then I just was like, okay, I'm going to talk to him. I'm going to talk to him at the end of the class. I've never really had like a real in-depth conversation with him, because I always thought I was an idiot. So I go up to him and I'm like, hey, like, thank you so much for the book. Like, that truly means a lot. Like, I really appreciate it. I really appreciate how you teach and what you teach, and how you teach us how to break outside of that boxed way of thinking. And I was told him how like I had bought this book, Think Like a Freak, and the concepts in this I was applying to my YouTube channel at the time. So this was like 2016, 2017, when I was like posting more frequently. And I was really just embracing the process of experimentation and trying to be inventive and do new things. I like to think he was pleased with me then. I wasn't a complete disappointment. He's like, yeah, well, make sure you keep running, or working out, because it opens up your mind and helps create like new neural pathways and that sort of thing, which is true. Like, runner's high is a very real thing. So, you know, I haven't lost that mentality. Actually, now I think I'm the like healthiest I've ever been in terms of fitness and eating and everything. But yeah, so just wanted to tell this story because I thought it was really cool, and it really meant a lot to me when I got this. And I think it could help some people out there, just having heard this story, to look for other opportunities that exist within one opportunity. So it might not be a clear-cut path, but there's likely another way to achieve success if you're having difficulty with something. So that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. And I'm gonna go clean up my leg now. Although that's probably all just dried now. Oh, nope, it's not completely dry. But yeah, hopefully you guys got a little something from this vid. Just really wanted to tell this story, and thanks for watching. Like, if you're not subscribed, subscribe, and see you guys next time. Bye. Okay, that was hard. Trying to navigate that narrow path with roots all over it, with one hand on my bike, one on the GoPro. Really need two hands for that sort of thing. I thought I was going into the stream a couple of times there.